John Petrucci, lead guitarist, Dream Theater co-founder, sound engineer, producer, and 21st century musical architect. But he's no ordinary rock star. No drama. No scandals, no headlines. Petrucci took the hardest path in music: discipline, infinite inventiveness, and stillness. His quiet, precise playing lets his guitar speak in an era when guitarists must shout. Riffs that twist like labyrinths, solos that cast spells, song structures that last tens of minutes but are cinematic. Petrucci. Music should be felt, not just heard. How did he become such? A Long Island boy who dreamed of making music since his sister got to stay up late and play the piano and bass. Mike Portnoy lost a dear buddy due of art. Bodybuilding man with delicate, emotive voice. Let's follow John Petrucci, who lived in complexity to write melodies that silenced the world. Early life. On July 12, 1967, in quiet Kings Park, Long Island, New York, John Petrucci was born. Where waves mixed with piano and clarinet tunes from every window. His Italian-American family lived modestly but was arts-oriented. Every youngster was a tool in that home. His sister played piano, his younger sister clarinet, and his brother bass. Music wasn't far away for John. Childhood sound. After dinner, the family would breathe quietly and harmonize. John started playing guitar at 8, not because he loved music, but for a childlike reason. His sister made practice piano late. If I learn guitar, I can stay up late, he thought. John hated getting up early for school, so that dream broke apart. Instrument was hidden in a closet. And surprise offer from his good buddy Kevin Moore changed everything at 12. After Kevin, Dream Theater's keyboardist, requested John to join his band, the guitar came out again. John wasn't playing to stay up late this time. He played because he belonged. Fun turned into habit, ritual, and commitment. Petrucci played guitar 6 hours a day, studying techniques and notes, while his friends played basketball. Yngwie Malmsteen, Steve Morse, and Randy Rhoads recordings fascinated him, and he didn't only listen. He analyzed every tone, phrase, and vibrato. Obsession, not pain, family trouble, or a turning point, molded Petrucci's childhood. And fixation with excellence, musical structure, and converting the guitar into a new language that expressed what he felt without words. His latter musical career was built on tranquility and a quest for greatness. Early career began with a faint guitar strum in a Long Island boy's small bedroom. John Petrucci was no longer a teen playing electric guitar with amazement at 18. The young guitarist had technique, melodic structure, and most importantly, he wanted to advance music beyond category. He entered Berklee College of Music in Boston, the birthplace of master musicians, because of that aim. Fate sketched Dream Theater's first outlines there. Petrucci reunited with his boyhood friend Kevin Moore at Berklee and met John Mayung, a quiet bassist with deep musicality. After that, Mike Portnoy, a precise and passionate drummer, completed the trio that would create Majesty. The name seemed regal, but they were first-year students with ambition in a freezing dormitory. Within a year, all three boldly dropped out to pursue music professionally. It didn't reject academic passion. It was a conclusion that their music needed real-world experience, sleepless nights in the studio, and touring, not academic studies. Majesty had to change its name owing to trademark difficulties, therefore Portnoy's father's movie theater inspired Dream Theater. Dream and Day Unite, their 1989 debut album, featured vocalist Charlie Dominici. Despite its quietness, the album was a statement. Dream Theater was ready, and Petrucci was entering an unstoppable era. Early days were hard. They struggled financially, were neglected by record labels, and had to fight to maintain their sound in a glam metal and grunge-dominated industry. Petrucci was steadfast and never gave up. He refused to tone down their songs for the public. Instead, he wrote 10 to 15-minute songs with strange time signatures, classical harmonies, and precise guitar techniques. Interestingly, he wasn't only the guitarist. He was the technical genius, song structure architect, tone shaper, harmony writer. Someone who set the band's style. John Petrucci wasn't just a promising guitarist in his 20s. He was a musical architect building his kingdom. That Dream Theater dream was just beginning. Success with Dream Theater. Dream Theater reformed with a new lineup in 1992, 3 years after their almost forgotten debut album, When Dream and Day Unite. Canadian singer James Loubry replaced Charlie Dominici. And suddenly everything changed. Images and phrases emerged. Fateful breakthrough. Pull Me Under, an almost 9-minute track with complex time signatures, no chorus, and no radio-friendly sound, was a surprise hit. Dream Theater went from underground to progressive metal icon once it reached MTV's top charts. This wasn't luck for John Petrucci. It took nearly a decade of preparation, relentless practice, structural musical thought, and a conscious rejection of commercial tendencies. Petrucci's music was always meant to challenge the brain and stir the soul. That philosophy defined Dream Theater. Band you may recognize in a few bars. The 1992 to 1999 period was crucial. Awake, 1994, showed the band's willingness to move beyond formulas with a darker, harder, more technical sound. It also revealed interior fissures. Creative conflicts drove boyhood buddy and original keyboardist Kevin Moore out. Fans realized Petrucci's silence meant more than a professional defeat. A personal wound. Instead of failing, Petrucci led Dream Theater into its most explosive creative moment. Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory, 1999, is a progressive metal classic. It went beyond an album. A tale. Music and lyrics tell a 77-minute sorrowful, reincarnative story. Petrucci co-authored most of the songs, composed the musical script, and created a spiritual film-like framework from intro and overture to climax and resolution. In addition to playing guitar, he created the story's emotional atmosphere. Dream Theater became more intricate and deep with each album. The 40-minute title track of 2002's 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence explored mental problems in an epic and philosophical manner. Train of Thought, 2003, shifted toward heavier metal, hitting Impulse. Sonic Epic Octavarium, 2005, focused on cycles. Containing a 24-minute title track about the creative loop, where beginning and conclusion are one. From machine gun alternate picking to dramatic melodies, Petrucci's structural philosophy was evident in everything. Petrucci didn't riff randomly. Every section had a purpose, every chord was a narrative knot, and every solo was a dialogue in his multi-layered musical systems. Nothing more or lacking. After Mike Portnoy left Dream Theater in 2010, fans were shocked, but John Petrucci kept the band together and became lead producer. 2011, he gained studio management, technical crew management, and mixer Richard Sitchie collaboration skills. Dream Theater lost Portnoy but preserved its DNA for the first time. An unstated statement. Petrucci was central. His 2-hour rock opera The Astonishing, 2016, showed his unlimited ambition. Though controversial, it showed Petrucci's willingness to experiment, explore, and create what some considered too much. A View from the Top of the World, 2021, and Distance Over Time, 2019, proved Dream Theater didn't need to soften to thrive. They merely needed to be themselves. Petrucci pioneered integrated personal branding outside music. Ernie Ball Music Man's John Petrucci Majesty's signature guitar is a symbol of precision. The Neural DSP Petrucci plugin typology matches his tone perfectly. Millions copy his seminars, books, and gear configurations. Above all, Petrucci avoided the spotlight despite success. He declined rock stardom. No media stunts, cliched music videos, or catchy sound bites. He just performs intently. A trembling fingertip on the strings, and lets music speak. Dream Theaters. Success may be the band's. John Petrucci is the technical spirit, structural heart, and guiding hand. Projects outside of Dream Theater. John Petrucci has spent virtually his entire life with Dream Theater, but he has never been limited. Music isn't a box to him. The three-dimensional coordinate system allows each inventive branch to create a path. His insatiable curiosity has led him to side projects and musical initiatives that gave him independence, breadth, and a new identity. During a hiatus between Dream Theater albums in 1998, Petrucci formed Liquid Tension Experiment, LTE, with Mike Portnoy, drums, Jordan Rudess, keyboards, and Tony Levin, bass, recognized for his work with King Crimson and Peter Gabriel. LTE wasn't a typical band. A true musical laboratory, it was unconstrained by words, song structures, or the market. The creation was pure. Petrucci became a sound explorer instead of a conductor. Exploring fusion jazz, progressive instrumental, electronic, and modern classical. Paradigm shift, universal mind, acid rain. Each track was a fantastical artwork with every note a photon colliding in space. What made it special? All studio performances were live. No overdubs or post-production revisions. Every component was an unsupported leap. In 2021, LTE released LTE 3, a high-energy comeback and the first time Petrucci, Portnoy, and Rudess had collaborated together since Portnoy left Dream Theater in 2010. The reunion shocked fans without saying a word. They played and the world knew. No one hates real music. Petrucci released his debut solo album, Suspended Animation, in 2005, a completely instrumental record that contrasted with Dream Theater. This freed him from band dynamics and the necessity to balance technique and narrative. He played what was in his soul, blues, shred, cinematic, but always with a heartbeat. 15 years later, Petrucci released Terminal Velocity, his second solo album, amid the COVID-19 pandemic. It was an emotional reunion with Mike Portnoy after a decade. An unassuming social media post instead of a press release or marketing. A drummer who understood me without words was needed. Portnoy arrived silently and played as if they had never left. Terminal Velocity was a reunion, a message about friendship, time, and music's ability to heal past wounds. Petrucci pioneered an integrated personal music brand in addition to performing. He and Ernie Ball Music Man created the John Petrucci signature guitar line, including the Majesty. Among the most innovative, precise, and comfortable guitars ever made. Neural DSP allowed him to create Petrucci plugin, an incredibly exact reproduction of his tone setup, including preamps, EQ, chorus, phaser, and delay. He created the famed rock discipline instructional film, which has taught millions of guitarists. No detail is too minor for Petrucci. Every selection, EQ band, and gain level must pass through his precise hands. Not for commercial appeal, but because he believes his moniker should embody his ageless, uncompromising music. Outside of Dream Theater, Petrucci shows more than technical skill. He reveals him. A musician who never stops learning, walks alone, embraces conflict, and maintains a creative space. Not as an escape, but to breathe, renew, and return to Dream Theater more entire and original. Personal life on stage, John Petrucci exudes accuracy, immaculate technique, stoicism, and eyes that appear to see through distractions. Off stage, when the strings and amps stop, he's a different man. Simple, insightful, and heartfelt. Since their youth, Petrucci and Mean Street guitarist Rena Sanz have been married. Artist marriages frequently last only a tour, but they have silently supported each other for decades. No scandals, noise, or public displays, just harmony between two individuals who know that the best love lets the other be themselves. They have 3 children, and Petrucci has always separated public and private life. He rarely discusses his kids in interviews. Never distributes images, doesn't bring them to awards presentations, and doesn't use family to brand himself. He sees music as the light, but family as the shade that protects the heart. Few anticipate. Beyond music, Petrucci obsesses over fitness. He workouts daily, eats strictly, and believes physical health is essential for creativity. His muscular form stands out among rock's haggard, worn-out figures, shocking admirers. For Petrucci, it's not for show. It prevents mental collapse. Petrucci is a principled man, he remarked in a rare interview. He doesn't consume soda, play video games, or carry his laptop to practice. He accounts for every hour on his Excel sheet timetable. It may seem mechanical, but it keeps him grounded in a chaotic industry. But he's not cold. People who have met Petrucci say he is pleasant, cordial, and refreshingly humble. He dislikes fan idolization, being branded a guitar god, and declining teaching offers if he's not ready to teach. Made music is an honor, not a privilege, to him. The feeling that he never has enough time to complete all his roles weighs on him. Artist, dad, spouse, maker. Still, he does it silently and without complaint. A heart maintained by discipline, grounded by love, and flaming with the notion that an artist's life doesn't need to be allowed to be great lies beneath the steel facade. True commitment can be heard in silence, entire, steadfast, and whole. Contradictions and shadows. John Petrucci's technique isn't what makes people admire and pause. Totally under his authority. He manages rhythm, song structure, interview replies, and himself. Petrucci believes art is not a place to cry or express oneself. Art is architecture, and he is the cold engineer creating precise musical blueprints. Cracks formed precisely from this hardness. When Dream Theater's longtime friend, co-founder, and musical partner Mike Portnoy resigned in 2010, Petrucci said little. His professional statement was brief. No grievances or charges. Longtime fans were shocked. Portnoy was more than a drummer. He was the only artist who could confront Petrucci. The chaotic opposite half needed to counter Petrucci's extreme order. Dream Theater survived Portnoy, but something changed. Got quieter. The band's subsequent albums were clean, precise, and well-crafted, but lacked the emotional intensity that had propelled them. Though few dared say it, many admirers believed Petrucci had perfected Dream Theater but lost part of the wild energy that powered scenes from a memory and train of thought. He maintained the ship on course and didn't let it budge. A little comment in an interview in Europe sparked controversy again years later. When asked about politics, he said, "I like Trump. Give him a chance. It wasn't severe. My opinion, not advertising. It was enough to turn off the left-leaning, open-minded progressive community." They viewed Petrucci as an intellectual and musical creator of complicated ideas. They now saw him as conservative, dangerous, and a seduced genius. Petrucci didn't reply or apologize. Just kept making music. From that moment, a bizarre invisible glass wall seemed to separate him from the public. He was no longer the perfect hero, but a human who could disappoint. Even in Dream Theater, Petrucci isn't easy. He is meticulous and machine-like. Many feel suffocated because of this. Even after comprehensive auditions, new members reportedly endure great pressure to match expectations. Every recording is a test. Every tour tests stability. Petrucci is silent. But his steady, calculated stare prevents carelessness. The power of discipline and the gloom of rigidity. Everyone knows extended silences are louder than confessions. John Petrucci is revered and avoided for that reason. He is respected for maintaining a seriousness in art few do. He looks to need no one and allows no one to reach him, so they stay away. Perhaps that's it. Petrucci is unique for his coldness, discipline, and reluctance to compromise. He uses quiet as a protest against the stream in a world where artists must be charming storytellers to survive, and it sounds louder than his strongest downstroke. With long salt and pepper hair flowing over his shoulders and a piercing gaze as keen as the alternate picking he's honed over 3 decades, John Petrucci still looks like an athlete in his 50s. After a decade apart, Petrucci reunited with Dream Theater's veteran drummer Mike Portnoy in 2024. While many of his peers were retiring or relying on past successes, Petrucci embarked on a new journey. No big statement, no dramatic enemies to friends story, just music to repair a broken thread. The result was significant. The album Parasomnia. Parasomnia, Dream Theater's 16th studio album, was released on February 7, 2025, and it proved that guys beyond 50 could still make dramatic, complicated, and daring music. Petrucci, the lead composer and producer, collaborated with Portnoy, Labrie, Myung, and Rudis to create an album that explored the mind, nightmares, sleep disorders, and dream reality fragments. It was an inner voyage, not just music. Once again, Dream Theater reminded the world they are not nostalgic. History is being written. Petrucci expanded his influence beyond music in 2025. He presented Guitar Universe 5.0 at Hilton Lake in Las Vegas, bringing together legends like Tosin Abasi, Guthrie Govan, Chris Broderick, and Mike Portnoy as an honored guest for the first time. It was more than a workshop. Petrucci created a micro-universe for guitar fans to experience the craft, art, and passion. Petrucci didn't start a trend about legacy. He kept discipline. Petrucci stuck to a philosophy in a guitar world where players shred today, gent tomorrow, and TikTok content next. Music must be emotional and intellectual. Exceptional technique, personal narration, logic, and artist heart. That's why young rock players and famous guitarists like Tosin Abasi, Mark Holcomb, and Misha Mansour look to him as a model for modern guitar expertise. Guitar World and Guitar Player have often called him the most influential guitarist of his generation, ranking him among Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, and Alan Holdsworth as the best guitarists of all time. His silent appreciation from industry insiders may be more meaningful. Petrucci doesn't need a big stage, long solos, or viral content. When he plays guitar, people realize the bar has been raised. Petrucci has never sought legend status, which is extraordinary. He's never published an autobiography, made a documentary about himself, or praised himself in the media. He keeps working, playing, and developing the craft he started at 12 when John decided to practice 6 hours a day in his modest bedroom. Maybe that's why his legacy is special. Applause, prizes, and rock star labels don't define it. It comes from silent persistence, hidden discipline, and notes that penetrate the lowest depths of individuals seeking structure in inner chaos. John Petrucci isn't a performer. He's not trendy. He's a musical framework that never stops. How do you view John Petrucci's extraordinary journey? Which moment from his career stands out? Which Dream Theater song has moved you most? Comment your ideas below. Please like and subscribe to continue studying the lives and legacies of the world's greatest musical legends. Thanks for watching. See you next video.